Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir Lazouzi from easymedicaldevice.com, and today we'll do the July 2024 regulatory update. Okay, before to start, so let's talk about our sponsor Medboard. So who is Medboard?
Medboard, the regulatory research and intelligence platform, is focused on solving the problem with increasing news and data and new requirements as regulatory intelligence, post-market surveillance, clinical literature review, and many more. We are making trusted MedTech information and data more accessible, creating the largest information portal search and the best tools for review, intelligence, and portfolio management. We are already changing people's lives like you by reducing tedious manual and repetitive work or saving much time. Contact us at medboard.com to learn more about us and do a free trial.
Okay, for the first topic of today, we'll talk about Germany that warns against over-regulation of medical devices. So when we go from MDD to MDR or IVD to IVDR, we see that the number of pages increases, and some people are saying that it will be helping to have a better understanding, but to be honest, no. And in the other side, we have a lot of MDCG guidance that are issued, so yes, there is some over regulation. But what mainly they mean about that? So we have this article from the Deutscher Bundestag, so the commission in Germany, that are mainly warning about that. And we have some association like BVMed that are making some statements talking about the fact that there are a lot of bureaucracy, that we need to be more efficient, we need to accelerate the procedures for innovation, and etc. So which is true, because as I said, we have for example in other countries like the US, the breakthrough procedures for some FDA products for innovative products. We start to have that also in the UK, I saw that, but in Europe we don't have this kind of thing. So it's why maybe this can be decreasing, if I can say, the appetite for some new technologies to arrive to Europe due to that. And in the other side, we are talking also mainly about the centralization of everything through some notified bodies. And notified bodies are replying that due to the extension, so TÜV is saying that, confirming at the hearing that the bottleneck problem no longer exists with the extension of the deadline in the MDR. The notified bodies can process all applications within the deadline of 2027-2028. So we have this kind of situation actually where we ask for less regulated aspect, and we have also some issues with some bureaucracy, if I can say. So then, we have some discussions that are ongoing actually. And Eric Volbrecht also has made an article talking about that, talking about mainly the different initiatives that were mentioned, like the Peter Lee's initiative, and all the fact that mainly there are some complexity and we have to make some revision, maybe to talk about more centralization of the regulation, and less bureaucracy, also some good administrative practices also. So if you want to hear more about these situations that can impact the future of MDR, so you can go on the show notes and you'll find those links to read all of that. So if you're not German, just go to your web browser and translate everything in English and you'll find everything there. I think it's really clear. So next we have an update of MDCG guidance. We have the MDCG 2022-13 revision 1, and this update is mainly about guidance on how to conduct joint assessment relating to the extending of the scope of designation. So as a reminder, I want to remind that because a lot of people are forgetting sometimes. As a reminder, all notified bodies cannot certify all of your products. They have some specific field of certification or some codes or some MDR codes that they can assign to that they can reserve. And this means mainly that they have the enough resources for them to be able to assess your type of device. So for example, if they have nobody with knowledge about software or to assess your software, then they cannot have the code for software. And here the idea is more about how a notified body that maybe has no code for software today can reserve the code for software tomorrow while is already MDR designated. So here is the idea of this MDCG guidance. So you have to understand that what is true today can be maybe wrong tomorrow. So you have to review again the Nando database to identify if your notified body, or if a notified body that you have already assessed before is capable to really manage your type of products, because this is changing a lot. We saw a lot of changes within the database. So have a regular verification if you are still in the process of choosing your notified body. Next, we have an MDCG guidance on orphan medical devices, so MDCG 2024-10. So when I read first time orphan medical devices, I thought in my regulatory mind that we are talking about medical devices, companies that have no notified body, for example, and that they need maybe competent authority to be their notified body in that time. But no, we have the same definition for orphan as the one for medicinal products. So it's mainly for rare disease. And here we have a definition. I wanted to read that to you if I can find it again. The definition for orphan devices is: the device is specifically intended to benefit patients in the treatment, diagnosis, or prevention of a disease or condition that presents in not more than 12,000 individuals in the European Union per year. And at least one of the following criteria are met. There is insufficiency of available alternative options for the treatment, diagnosis, or prevention of these disease conditions, or the device will offer an option that will provide an expected clinical benefit compared to available alternatives or state-of-the-art for the treatment, diagnosis, or prevention of this disease condition, taking into account both device and patient population specific factors. So this MDCG will help you to create some perform clinical evaluation for this type of products, because maybe you don't have enough data also due to the fact that there are not a lot of population. So here they are telling you exactly how you can do this kind of thing, clinical investigation, clinical evaluation, because maybe your device is a specific type of device and then you maybe need some specific requirements here. So it's good because then we don't have one size for everybody, if I can say. So it's mainly fitting different types of products. And we have also an MDCG guidance, the same type for software. It's a previous one. But it's good that you have different types of MDCG for different types of clinical evaluation for different types of products mainly. So this is mainly the idea here. So look again at MDCG 2024-10. Okay, now the cheer. What is again the cheer? I can't find again the term of cheer. Here. Scientific Committee on Health, Environmental and Emerging Risks. So cheer. So it's a scientific committee. They are calling for external experts. So if you are an external expert, you can apply on when those experts are specialized on brain stimulators, not having an intended medical purpose. So you remember on Annex 16, there is a list of the products that have no medical purpose, and brain stimulators were one of them. So without any medical purpose, I suppose for relaxation or for I don't know what. So here they are asking for specific experts, and those experts should have should be scientists with experience with external brain stimulation by electric, magnetic, or electromagnetic fields, medical or non-medical applications, scientists with experience in neuroethics, or neurologists with experience in the application of non-invasive external brain stimulation techniques. So I'm not qualified for that. I'm none of those. Here, if you are an expert on these types, then you can apply for this, and you have until the 31st of August 2024 to do that. So you go on the show notes and you find the link, and then you can read everything and apply for that. So they are waiting for you, so don't hesitate, go and apply for it. Okay, now we have the EMA that is providing some information regarding the clinical trial information system. So it's a system for clinical trials for products. I suppose I maybe had to verify that. I suppose it's also for medical devices, but I don't see anything there. So I suppose it's also for medical devices because I don't see even that they are talking about pharmaceuticals only. So here mainly the ideas, what are that they are updating their portal. If I can say, there is a new version for their portal for clinical trial information system, CTIS. And then mainly you can have better transparency related to the information. Here they're also talking, I read something, they are saying that one of the key changes is the earlier availability of information on authorized clinical trials. So the thing that I read, I don't know where it is here now, but it said mainly that before you could delay the publication of your data for 7 years. Well, I said 7 years. Wow, it's a lot. So here they are reviewing that, and that it should be available earlier. But yeah, maybe if you are specialized in this platform that maybe you had access before, so you have to learn that there are some changes, and maybe you can get there a new type of information that you need for your clinical trial. So don't hesitate to go and to check this new information because yeah, it's really important for you. Next, so you know that the AI Act has been voted, not published on the official journal, but voted in the parliament, I think. So now we have already the first governments or first authorities that are starting to talk about implementing some rules or some supervision for artificial intelligence software. So here first we have the Dutch authority. So here it says the AP and RDI, which is the Dutch Data Protection Authority and the Dutch Authority for Digital Infrastructure, they are asking a supervision of an AI system that should be arranged quickly. So cooperation between supervisory authorities is paramount in the supervision of artificial intelligence. The Dutch Data Protection Authority AP and the Dutch Authority for Digital Infrastructure RDI write in their advice to the Dutch government. Decisions on which bodies will carry out the different supervisory tasks need to be made soon, as the first part of the new European AI Act will come into force at the start of 2025. So yeah, so AI Act will start, so there will be a need of some infrastructure, if I can say, that will be helping to verify all what is done. So here, remember, AI Act is not only for anything with AI, it's for high-risk devices also, and it can be anything, not only medical devices, it can be toys, it can be whatever that contains artificial intelligence. So this is really something important. So here the idea is mainly to have somebody that will be supervising all this, because for some products you need a CE marking for those AI, and there are others that are exempt, and mainly we'll be talking about that also just after. I will explain to you, we are organizing a conference for that, so I will explain also that to you after. So we have the AI Act starts to be, if I can say, taking his way, even if it's not published. People are starting to talk about it and starting to ask for some infrastructure for its supervision. Okay, so we talk again about AI, and this time it's UK that issued a joint communication with FDA and Canada. So we talk a lot about AI actually. Yeah, there. When I made the review of all the regulation that were happening, so there was a lot of AI elements, but I couldn't select everything. So here are some of those that I selected. This one is mainly the principle that they were trying to issue, the 10 guiding principles, and there are some principles like who should be using this AI, so the relevant audience, why, the motivation for it, what, the relevant information, where, the placement of information, when, the timing, and how the method used to support the transparency. So this is mainly something that you have to evaluate. Maybe when you create your dossier, you are mentioning those who, why, what, where, when, how, etc., and with all the answers you have, and then providing the rules that should be implemented. So AI is not only, as I've said, for medical devices, it's also for other principles, but here we are focusing on medical devices because mainly it's about FDA, Health Canada, and MHRA that are issuing these principles. Okay, Swiss now. In Switzerland, we are talking about Swiss DAMED. I mean, I think we talked about that already before, but in Europe we have UDAMED, and in Swiss we have Swiss DAMED. So Swiss DAMED was under construction, and now it will be going live the 6th of August 2024. And here there are some rules saying that if you have never been registered with Switzerland, Swissmedic before, then you need to do it through the Swiss DAMED platform. But if you were registered before, so then you don't need to do anything because they will transfer your data directly to the Swiss DAMED database. So which is great. So Easy Medical Device, we are a Swiss authorized representative, and then I hope then we transfer all our data, so we no need to register again or do anything again, which is great. So then the device registration will be starting, I think, in 2025. they plan to make available the 2025 the first section of SwissDamed for the registration of certain devices on a voluntary basis. So they are doing the same principle of what we have in Europe, creation of your account and then voluntary creation of the products inside. So as said, from what I see, Switzerland, when they are creating their rule or their law for Switzerland for the medical devices and in vitro diagnostic, they align what they are doing with Europe. Here, the SwissDamed is the same. They are aligning what the Swiss standard is doing with Europe also. So that I hope will help us when we'll have acceptance, if I can say, of Switzerland inside the European Union again for medical devices. Then there is no gap between what they were doing and what Europe is doing. So then it will be a easy merge, if I can say, of information. So we hope for that, but for the moment it's not the case. So if you need a Swiss authorized representative, then you can contact me at Easy Medical Device and we can be your Swiss authorized representative also. Okay, now conferences. So we have our website called medtechconf.com. So medtechconf.com, MEDETECH, CONF.com, where we are mainly presenting a map of all the conferences that are existing. I mean, we don't have all because it takes a lot of time to gather everything, and it would have been great if everybody can go directly and tell us more about their conferences so that we can place that inside. So if you know about a conference that may need to be published, so send me the link on the email or on the comments, and then I will send that to my team so that they can publish that on the map. So the first conference that I wanted to talk about is MEDTECH, that will happen August 2nd in 2024 in Chennai, India. So this is mainly one of a big event that is there August 2nd. So it's an exposition of business to business on medical device equipment that permit the connection between the distributors and professional healthcare professionals. So if you are, for example, a hospital or and there are some distributors, so you can also go there. So mainly, if you are a distributor, it's a great place to go to be able to sell your devices. The second one is the RAPS Convergence in September 17th and 19th, 2024, Long Beach, California, USA. So I heard a lot of people will be going there. So this is a well-known conference, so great that it's happening in September. So don't hesitate to go to the show notes and you'll find the link where you can go to those conferences and see maybe some things that are happening there. So don't hesitate also to put some comments if you have any comments about the conference that maybe we are missing here, because we will be trying to inform you also during this regulatory update of any conferences that are happening. And the last conference is the AI Act Summit. So we are planning that in October 1st. Initially, it was planned in September 26th, but because of the RAPS Convergence and a lot of people going there and maybe cannot be coming then to our conference, so they decided to move it off 1 week. So we have the AI Act Summit, which will be a summit that we are organizing between Easy Medical Device and For Better Devices with Cesar Magri, where we are trying to provide a place of networking and of learning of the AI Act. So we'll have a lawyer, we'll have a notified body, we'll have some speakers about consultants that will talk a lot about the artificial intelligence. Also some manufacturers that will come to present their AI solutions and how also they went through the regulatory aspect of it. So this year the focus will be on healthcare. But what the objective is that maybe next year to start to open it to other fields than healthcare, because the objective is also to have a cross learning between the different fields. So maybe something that they are doing in automotive can be also used in medical device, or something in medical device can be used in aeronautic or whatever. So the idea is mainly try to mix all those things and find, if I can say, some best practice and some good ways also to review the artificial intelligence regulations. And we'll have, as I've said, notified bodies also that try to explain to us what they will check during a review of a dossier containing artificial intelligence. So don't hesitate to register. The agenda is still under finalization, so I hope by end of this week or next week we'll have everything and we can publish that. So it will be also published it is already published on MedTechConf, but you cannot register. But we'll be publishing, I hope, the update next week with all the new details and also the agenda and name of people that will be joining, etc. And we'll have also some panel discussion and with some great people that will come to make the moderation. So we try to get also some big names so that help us also to get this conference really interesting. Okay, Okay, so I have also organized last week's 3 weeks ago, for the first medical device live expert, so number 1, where I had with me Karen Badwal, I have Stefan Bollinger, Cesare Magri, and Adam Ray, where we discussed. It was really fun because it was really a great panel discussion, if I can say, about medical device rules in terms of the transition timelines, notified body situation, and artificial intelligence for medical devices. So it was really great, and if you want to see the replay, so it's also on the show notes, you can go and you will see how we had a lot of fun. It's live, so mainly you have also some people that will come to make some comments and discussions. So the next one will be on July 19th, so medical device live expert number 2, and we'll be focusing on US this time. First, I wanted to ask to my panel mainly about the US view of what's happening in Europe with MDR. Are they like, oh, we want to go to Europe due to that, or no, we don't want at all, we are waiting? Or mainly, yeah, there are some different views than what we are seeing in Europe. Second, we want to talk about QMSR, so the new change of the QSR to QMSR with the FDA. So what is it changing for US? And the third thing is about artificial intelligence. As I told you, there are a lot of discussion on artificial intelligence in the US. So now the idea is it easy to go with an artificial intelligence maybe software in US instead maybe of Europe, or is it facilitated, or how the FDA are really reviewing that? So this is the discussion we want to have. And for that, my guests will be Michelle Lott in the US also, Rob Packard, and Arsh Thakar. So I had the pleasure to have Michelle and Rob on my podcast, and Arsh I was able to have to be on his podcast, and I met him also when he came here to Switzerland, so it was great also to have him. The idea is mainly to have a view from experts that are in the region and that can tell us more about this, which can be beneficial also for people that are in Europe. So don't hesitate to join us on July 19th. I already placed the link on the show notes, so you can click on it and place on the add-on calendar this event. And then, as I said, if you have already some questions, prepare them. You can send that to me already, so that I can use them. Or during the event, you can ask your question and we can pick it during the discussion. Okay, so now talking about US. The first guidance we have on US is the essential drug delivery outputs for devices, so EDDO guidance, which is mainly a guidance about devices that are used to deliver some drug or biologics or whatever. So it's the same as what we have in Europe with Article 117 for MDR. Here, mainly the idea is the same. What are the rules for confirming compliance of this type of products, of this type of delivery system, how it's working? So this is a guidance that can help you in case you have this type of products and you want to place it on the US market. As I said, there are a lot of links between what is done there plus what is done in Europe, but here it's really detailed with a lot of technical information. So I think it's a good one here. Next, we have the US that is updating their recognized standards. So you know that in Europe for MDR, we have, for example, the harmonized standard. So when we moved from MDD to MDR, we had to update the harmonized standards. So here is the same for US. We have what we call the recognized standards. And here they do the same. They update again their recognized standards. There are some that are withdrawn, some that are accepted, etc. etc. So this is a document that can be interesting, so that you update maybe on your quality management system your list of standards to say this one is harmonized for Europe and maybe this one is harmonized also or recognized for the US. So it's really important that you make this update. So here is the document on the show notes. You click on it and you have the list directly of all the standards that need to be updated so that you can update them on your system. So next, the US is issuing a webinar in July. The date is July 16th, 2024. So it's a webinar on in vitro diagnostic product classification. So mainly if you want to understand how to classify an in vitro diagnostic in the US, not in Europe, not IVDR, it's in the US, then this can be helpful. So I think there are some misunderstandings sometimes on how to classify a product. So what you will see maybe on this webinar can be also applicable for medical devices, not only in vitro diagnostic, but it will be a good learning for you on how to classify in vitro diagnostic products, to find some equivalent devices or substantially equivalent devices, etc. So this is something that can be helpful. So don't miss it. Again, you go on the show notes, you click on the page, and there is a button to add to my calendar, and then you click on it and it will add it, because it says it's at 1 p.m. East, so Eastern time, I think. So yeah, just to avoid some time zone differences and misunderstanding, click on the button and it will appear on your calendar directly. So last for US, we have an article, a blog post made by Troy Tazbaz, a director of Digital Health Center of Excellence by the FDA. So here it talks about the promises of artificial intelligence that holds for improving healthcare. So mainly it's just a small blog post talking about mainly what we have, the conclusion or the summary of the situation of artificial intelligence in the medical device field, healthcare field, and the fact that it promises a lot of things. And here what they are asking is to open a discussion on some topics. The first topic is the standards, best practices, and operational tools that needs to be created maybe for helping manufacturers. It's why I'm saying to you that the FDA has created a lot of guidances actually, so they need maybe some standards also for that. Second is quality assurance laboratories. I'm not sure exactly what they wanted to talk about that. I try to see, but there is nothing clear. Yeah, I just said quality assurance laboratory. Transparency and accountability. So the same as I've said before, when we are using artificial intelligence, the idea is to have some transparency, and it's one of the guidance that I just talked before about why, etc. or the audience. Then the risk management for AI model in healthcare. So mainly we are doing risk management for normal devices, so we have also to maybe build a risk management for AI models. The fact that maybe they can take the control of everything and give you the wrong information or decide by themselves, whatever, I don't know, but yeah, mainly this is the idea. So don't hesitate to go to just be inspired, if I can say, related to AI, because as I've said, this topic of AI is coming is recurrent in all our discussions. So here it's just a reflection on maybe what we have to open as a discussion for making AI better. Okay, now let's go to Australia. TGA is issuing a guidance on regulatory obligation for exempt medical devices. So when you read that, you say, okay, so it's exempted medical devices, but apparently when I read it, it says, yes, it's exempted medical devices, but they still have to follow some rules of medical devices. So it's not, it's sometimes misleading. So even some rules in terms of adverse event reporting or recall, etc. So this is something that is really important to check, because you may think that your device is exempt for being a medical device, so then you don't need to follow some rules. No, you still have to follow some rules, and they are defined here on this guidance. Next, in Australia, we have guidance that will help you to make a distinction on your products regarding if it's a cosmetics or a therapeutic good. So mainly it gives you a definition of what is cosmetic or what is therapeutic good, and then making an explanation of the differences here. And I think it's good document, because I think I didn't read everything, but a lot of those things can be applicable to Europe. Just one thing, I just see now that it says that what is a therapeutic good, and it says therapeutic goods comprises a wide range of products including prescription, complementary, and over-the-counter medicines, maybe, yes, medical devices, biologicals, not sure, because we have an example. I mean, it depends. Have to understand what is a biological, but it's also some sunscreens. I'm not sure that in Europe sunscreens is a medical device. I think it's more cosmetic, but have to verify that. But yeah, I think it's a good document also to help to understand the mindset in Australia, and can help you also to understand that the rules are different in Europe and in Australia. So understand that Australia has also their own regulation and guidances. So it's really important here. So in Australia, we have what we call an essential principle that you have to follow. So it's the same as in Europe, the GSPR, Annex 1 for UMDR and IVDR. So the essential principle is a list of requirements that you have to fulfill. And as I say, if you compare GSPR and essential requirements, there are a lot of things that are similar. So you can fill the information one of the other. So what they have done is that they have just created a template for these essential requirements. So it's called Essential Principles Checklists. And this is a document the same as what you have maybe for MDR or IVDR, but you can no need to purchase it or create it. It's already available. You click on it and you have the document with all the elements that you have to fulfill. So yeah, I hope it will save you some time. So free of charge, you go, you click, and you you get it. So it's really that the idea. So last for Australia, the same as MEDTECH, that they have created SwissDamed. Here they have created OSUDID, like the US GUDID, but here it's OSUDID. Mainly it's a database for registration of medical devices with the UDI code. So it's the same as what you have in the US, but I will compare it also to the UDAMED database because we have also the information of the recording of information from the manufacturer and from the product. So I don't know if it's already available because it's established, but it doesn't say that if there is a date. So there is a guidance in 2024. So I don't know if I think it's already available. I don't click. Oh yeah, you can already download the data from the OSUDID. Difficult to say OSUDID. But yeah, it's mainly something that is already available, so you can directly go and use it. There are also some protocols for transferring information, submitting data via HL7 SPL, so a lot of technical things. But I think it's why I'm saying it's the same as UDAMED, because UDAMED has also the same type of protocols. So if you are then planning to register a device in Australia, you maybe have also to consider the registration of your products inside those databases that are available now. Okay, now Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia issued a guidance, which is a guidance for helping or understanding how you can extend the shelf life of your products. So you will say, why should I extend my shelf life for my products? So it's in the case, for example, where we have some public emergency, and instead of saying, oh, you keep it for 6 months, no, you keep it maybe for 2 additional months because you have no additional supply or there is some issues. Or also because you have maybe made already the tests for your device to extend the shelf life, and at the end it will take maybe a lot of time to update all the documentation and everything, and maybe you can already announce that you can extend the shelf life to avoid some wastes of products also. So they have created this guidance. What I'm the only critique, if I can say, that I will make for the Saudi Arabia documentation is that sometimes they make it in English and sometimes they make it in Arabic. So when it's in English, it's fine. When it's in Arabic, it's a bit difficult to translate everything. But yeah, it could be great to have maybe also the English version so that everybody outside of Saudi Arabia can also understand and then use those rules for their future products. If you are listening to me, but it's just please. Next, we have Malaysia that is opening few trainings. The first is a workshop on post-marketing requirements, which will happen in July 16th, 2024. So mainly explaining what is the post-marketing requirements for medical devices. The second one is a training on how to submit documents to the authority in Malaysia. So that will be happening in July 17, 2024. So this is to avoid any issues with the document that you are submitting and avoid any errors. And Malaysia has also issued a question to you, mainly, to the ones that are interacting with them. They are asking, are you satisfied with them? So mainly this is the question, and here is a link to rate them. So it's a QR code and you can go and then use it to make a rating of them. So if you are already working with Malaysia authorities, so go and say good things about them. When it's bad, everybody's complaining, but when it's good, maybe nobody's telling. So yeah, if you have some good interaction also, go and read them well. If you have no good interaction, so tell what exactly is wrong so that they can modify that. I like those requests from authorities because they want to improve themselves, but if nobody tells them what is wrong, maybe they cannot improve, so then you'll be still mad at them. So here it's an opportunity for you. Ask them and they will provide you the information. I mean, tell them what's wrong with you. Next one, South Africa. So SAPRA. Each time I was calling that SAFRA, but no, it's SAPRA, SAHPRA, medical devices in South Africa. So here they are issuing a guidance on vigilance reporting, and it's mainly a guidance telling you who to contact when you have an issue. I would have expected maybe a website to do things, but I saw that there were some email addresses and of departments. So it's something that is not usual. I see mdvigilance@sapra.org.za and copy CC with some names of people. So it's maybe something that can be improved here. It's good already to have that. So if you have that, the idea here is that when you go to your quality management system, you go to your vigilance reporting documents. Maybe you have a place for South Africa, and then you mention all those emails so people can use that. Or you take this document and you put it in annex of your procedure, and then you can then use that. But what could be great is that we are using some electronic links that you can directly click on it and then find the information, or a QR code that you can scan and then everything is already available. You can just answer a question and everything is fine. So some more electronic tools can be more efficient than sending an email, because email means also that there will be some kind of human in the other side that will be working on it. But it's good already to have that, so update your procedures on this. Okay, now the podcast. So we had few podcasts that we went through last month. So first is episode 288 on cleaning validation, how to select the worst case with Hena Thakkar. So we talked mainly about reusable devices. We have to make some cleaning validation for reusable devices, but when you have 12,000 units of devices, which one will you use? You cannot validate everything, so you have to find the worst case for that. So we explained how to find worst cases on this. Then episode 289 on AFNOR, so it's a notified body that has been designated recently, and they told us about how a notified body can be designated, and we also talked about how much it costs, why it costs so much to be a notified body, etc. So there are really some great answers there, because I was not aware, even me, so now it was great to get that. So Thomas Lomatz, the boss of AFNOR certification, helped us to understand more about that. Then last episode that we had last week, about episode 290 on how to submit an artificial intelligence and machine learning SAMD the right way. So yes, it was Rishi Christian from Vega that came and explained to us that, because he had experience on submitting some software with artificial intelligence. I'll try to have also Rishi Christian, or maybe somebody from Vega also during our AI Act summit, so that he will present to us some of those details here. So if you want to look at those podcasts again, you can go to the show notes and find all the links. And if you have any comments, don't hesitate also. And if you want also to be part of the podcast, don't hesitate, contact me, tell me what is the topic that you want to talk about. Then we can organize the episode together, and then we can start to the recording of it. So don't be shy. I'm really a nice person. So I will be really happy to have you on the podcast and to share your knowledge, because this is mainly the principle of the podcast: sharing knowledge, sharing information that will help you to grow faster, or to learn what are maybe some mistakes to avoid within your journey. So don't hesitate also to come to share also that with people, so that they will be learning, and they will be, I hope, making no mistake, and thanking you later to say, oh, because I listened to your podcast, it was really helpful for me. Okay. So thanks everyone again. Thanks for listening to this episode of the podcast. Remember, it was sponsored by Medboard, so don't hesitate to go to the website of Medboard to see who is Medboard. And if you have any project or mission on quality and regulatory affairs for your medical devices in Europe, in the US, or anywhere in the world, contact us. We can also do your supplier audits. We can do your internal audits. We can also do your technical dossier for MDR certification. We can do your clinical evaluation. I mean, whatever quality and regulatory affairs, we can do it. So don't hesitate to contact me at info@easymedicaldevice.com, info@ info@easymedicaldevice.com. Okay, thank you very much, and it was a pleasure.